Namaste everyone. Welcome to this morning forward bend yoga flow. This is going to be an intermediary session where if you have some knowledge of yoga and have been doing it frequently, then it would be really helpful. So enjoy and follow along. Come to the forward position on your mat into Tadasana. Inhale as you raise your hands up and look up. Exhale into forward fold. Then inhale into halfway lift, looking forward and extending your back. And exhale as you go down into plank and then chaturanga. And then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Now try to feel that extension in your back. Your drishti should be ideally at your navel point. Try to keep your foot on the ground. It's hard for me, but if you can, that's great. Now inhale and jump or step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale and come all the way up. And then exhale into Tadasana. That was your sun salutation A. We are going to do a few more rounds of it, so follow along at your own pace. Inhale, raise your hands up. Exhale, go into forward bend. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale into plank and then into chaturanga. You can also keep your knees on the floor here if it's too hard for you to do chaturangas. Then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. You can keep a bend in your knees here. Keep pushing the ground with your arms and your foot. Your drishti or your focus point, your gaze should be at your navel or towards the back of the mat. Whenever you are ready, inhale and jump or step forward. Inhale into halfway lift and exhale into forward fold. And slowly come up all the way, your head lifting the last. Now let's get into sun salutation B or Surya Namaskar B. Inhale and get into the chair pose with your arms and your eyes up. Exhale into forward bend. Inhale into halfway lift. And then exhale as you jump or step your way into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Now raise your right leg up and bring it between your arms and go into warrior one with your hands up and your gaze up, and then immediately bring your hands down and do your chaturanga and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Repeat it on the left side with your left foot forward, going into warrior one, then into your chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, and then exhale into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Try to calm your heart rate down. Push the ground with your feet and your hands. And whenever you are ready, look forward and jump or step forward. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale into forward bend. Inhale as you come into chair pose. And exhale into Tadasana. You can stop by to take a few breaths here. And whenever you are ready, we are going to go into another round of Sun Salutation B. With inhaling into chair pose exhale into forward bend, inhale into halfway lift, and then exhale into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog and exhale into downward facing dog. Now we are going to repeat again with your bringing your right foot forward and going into warrior one. From warrior one we are going into chaturanga and then upward facing dog and then downward facing dog. Go at your own flow here. Don't forget to breathe and follow your movements with your breath. Now moving on to the left side, inhaling as we go into warrior one on the left side, exhale into chaturanga, inhale into upward facing dog, and exhale into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Bring your heart rate down. Long deep inhales and long deep exhalation. Whenever you're ready, jump or step forward. Inhale into halfway lift and exhale into forward fold, and then inhale all the way back into the chair pose and then into Tadasana. Our body should be pretty warmed up by now, so we are going to move into the rest of the poses here, which focus on our forward bends. Inhale as you raise your hands up in the air. Exhale into forward bend. Inhale into halfway lift. And then exhale into chaturanga and upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. From here, we are going to get into warrior one on the right side. Try to hold your warrior one here. Your drishti should be at your hands at the top of your head. And hold this pose for a few breaths. Now staying in same feet position, bring your upper body down into humble warrior. You can keep your hands on the ground for support or have a bind or a lock behind, and stay here for a few breaths. And then inhale back into warrior one on the right side, and then go into chaturanga, inhaling into upward facing dog and exhaling into downward facing dog. We are going to repeat it on the other side. So with your left foot forward, inhale into warrior one on the left side. Hold this position for a few breaths. Your knee and your foot should be in a straight line, perpendicular or 90 degrees to the ground. Release any tension from your shoulders. Keep your gaze at your hands and slowly bringing your head down, get into humble warrior on the left side with your hands either on the ground or with a lock behind. Your left shoulder should be touching or pretty close to your left knee as you bend forward. Whenever you are ready, come into warrior one on the left side and then do your chaturanga, and then inhaling into upward facing dog and then downward facing dog. Stay a few breaths and then gradually step or jump forward, inhaling into halfway lift, exhaling forward fold, and inhaling and coming all the way up, and exhale into Tadasana. Now bring your left foot on the side of your mat. From here, make a bind behind and then look up and then bend forward from your lower back. You can keep a slight bend in your knees and bend forward as much as you can. And try to bring your arms forward here. Try to open up those shoulders as well. And the weight of your body should be towards the toes of your feet. That would help you bend more in this position. Stay here. Focus on your breaths. Try to keep them long, deep breaths instead of the short breaths. Enjoy this moment. And whenever you are ready, slowly come back up, bending from your lower back, and then bring your left foot back to the front of the mat into Tadasana. From here, inhale as you bring your hands up and then do a forward bend. Inhale into halfway lift. Exhale into Chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. Stay for a few breaths. Inhaling and bringing your right foot forward. Now we are going to get into that lunge position. We are focusing on the lunge position here, opening up our hips and at the same time keeping that forward bend. You should feel some tension in your thighs and your quadriceps. Continue to hold that, and then let's go into downward facing dog, and then move it on the other foot, bringing your left foot forward and your right foot with your right knee on the ground, and get into that low lunge and feel that extension in your thighs and your quadriceps. Take a few breaths here. And when you are ready, move into downward facing dog. And from here, we are going to get into a seated position with our legs extended forward. Inhale and bring your arms up and keep your back straight while you do it. And then exhale and bend forward and hold the big toes on your foot. And now exhale as you move forward, bending from your lower back. You can keep a slight bend in your knees. That should help with the extension on the back. Keep your gaze at your foot and take long deep breaths here. With every inhale, extend your back, and with every exhale, bend lower. And when you are ready, slowly come back again into that seated position. And from here, we are going to bend our right knee close to our close to our inner thigh, and we'll keep that right foot on the ground, and from here extend your right arm up and bend it across your right knee and grab your left hand from the other side. If you can't grab your hand, then you can grab your t-shirt or the mat or the ground. And once you have that hold, try to extend your shoulders. Keep a straight seated position and bend from your shoulder and your back with a slight twist in your back, and hold this position. Now we are going to repeat it on the other side. So release the position, bring your right foot forward, bend your left foot with your left feet close to your inner thighs, and now with your left hand twisted around your left foot, try to grab your right hand from behind. We'll keep that extension in our right foot. Your right foot is solid on the ground, and with that bind, twist it on the right side, spreading your shoulders, your back, and stay here for a few breaths. Focus on your inhales, on your exhales. And when you are ready, release the bind and bring your feet forward. Now let's cross our right foot on top of our left thighs. And gently push your right knee in order to open that hip. Inhale, bringing your hands up in the air, and then exhale as you bend from your lower back, grabbing your left foot. You can keep a slight bend in your left knee, and your drishti or your focus point or your gaze should be at your left foot. Inhale, feeling that extension in your back, and exhale and bend forward. On every inhale and exhale, try to bend a half inch or an inch forward. Take another breath here. And when you're ready, we'll move it on to the other side, bringing your left foot over your right thigh, closer to your hip joints, gently pressing that left hip or your left knee down to open that hip joints. And whenever you're ready, inhale as you bring your arms up, and then exhale as you grab your right foot this time. Follow your own breath here. Inhaling, extending your back, and exhale, bending it forward. We are not just holding the position here, we are trying to get into a deeper bind. So, on every breath, focus on getting just a little more bend here. Whenever you're ready, inhaling, slowly come back up into that seated position with your legs extended in front of you. And from here, we'll inhale our hands up and then bend forward, grabbing our foot from the sides. If you can't reach it, you can bend your knees. If that's also not possible, you can hold your shins and gently extend forward. Now bringing your right And bringing your left hand towards the right side of your right foot. Feel that forward bend with a slight twist in your back. Repeat it on the other side while bringing your right hand towards the left side of your left foot. Feeling that gentle twist along with that forward bend. And whenever you're ready, slowly come back and lay with your back on the ground. From here, lift your lower body or your legs up and grab the big toe and move your feet all the way over your head to touch the ground. If it's up in the air, that's also okay, but we are trying to touch our feet on the ground while holding the big toes. You can keep a slight bend in your knees here. Focus on your breath. And slowly come back while inhaling and keep your hands on the side and feet on the ground. Now we are going to raise our right foot up in the air and hold the big toes with our right hand while keeping our left hand on the left foot, which is extended, and slightly bring your upper body up, creating that forward bend. With every breath, try to push your knees down to remove that bend in your knees. And now let's repeat it on the other side. So bringing our left foot up, holding our left big toe with the left hand, slightly bringing our upper body up into that gentle forward bend. And from here, keeping a slight bend in your knees. With every exhale, try to push your leg up and then gently come back. Now inhale as you bring your legs towards your body and hold both your legs. This is the wind releasing pose. It helps release any tension from the lower back. Feel free to rock your body left or right here for a gentle massage on the lower back. And give yourself a big hug. Now releasing every part of your body on the ground. Let it rest on the ground and get into a final resting position, Savasana. Keep your feet wide apart, your hands next to your body, your palms facing up, ready to receive whatever is in store for you today. And with that, we'll close our practice for today. Have a great rest of your day.